The town of North Andover has been faced with significant challenges over the past several years. The tragic gas explosions in 2018, the Eastern equine encephalitis disease in 2019, also known as Triple E, and now the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. In addition to citizens being asked to stay home and not interact with each other, businesses were forced to either offer reduced services or shut down entirely. In this program, we're going to be speaking with a number of North Andover businesses to find out about their challenges during the shutdown, how they are handling reopening, and what you can expect when you walk through the door. To start, we're going to be checking in with our friends in the restaurant business here in North Andover.
We got hit a good amount. We actually thankfully, we weren't closed during all this. We were still doing takeout. We tried doing delivery, but our customers already know we don't deliver, so it kind of didn't help out. So just getting used to, not being able to talk to the customers like we used to, hugging them, saying hi to them, and it's, challenging, lowering our prices a little so we can kind of help everybody out, during the hard time.
I know we could have stayed open for takeout, but we're not a takeout restaurant. We're more of a sit-down type of establishment. We're not on a busy street, we're on a side street as well. So when the word came out, we just decided to close the place down and to try to save as much money as we can. And we stayed closed until Governor Baker opened up phase 2, which was on June 8th, I believe it was, for outdoor dining. And fortunately for us, we do have outdoor dining. So that worked out really well for us.
Effects were, at the beginning, were major on our industry. People didn't know what to do, what to expect, and I get that. People were afraid, like everyone else. Me and my family were afraid too. And being a pizza place, we were set up mostly for delivery and pickup. It didn't affect us dining too much, but still, it affected the overall ordering because, as I said, people didn't know what to expect, uncertain. Even with my driver, they were afraid to go out on delivery without the personal protection equipment, which are masks, gloves, and hand sanitizers in their cars.
It's really hard when you've saved all this money and you just watch it go away just by paying your rent and electricity and gas. Challenge of talking to the staff, keeping up with them, seeing how they're doing, and just keeping busy. I think for me, that was one of the biggest challenges I had was, what do I do with all this extra time besides drink alcohol all day? It was crazy. So when this first started, the first day I went for a jog with my oldest daughter, and I noticed some people were in the water swimming, and I said to her, honey, every day for the next 2 weeks, because originally it was only going to be a 2-week shutdown, I'm going to go swimming in the ocean. So I started on March 17th, and just every day I went. And when they kept delaying the opening, I made it into this little let's support small businesses, and people sent me T-shirts, and every day before I went into the water, I'd take my pink robe off and shout out to whatever company it was that I was wearing and promote them. We had a couple of days where it was snowing out. Water temp, I think when we first started, was like 37 degrees. So it went well. I still jump in the water every day. It'll be 150 days on Friday, as a matter of fact. I'm a hugger. People that walk in, I want to hug and kiss and that's been the hardest thing for me, is to not be able to just share my affection with them, like, how's your family doing, how you been, and this and that.
Like I said, we're from Argentina, we're Latin, so we like to hug and kiss, and so it's kind of hard seeing our customers come in and not being able to do that, wearing the mask 24/7, kind of, you're not used to breathing in your own air, as you would say. But other than that, the community has been very helpful.
I don't even want to call them customers. I want to call them guests, friends, family. They've been great. I've had some people walk in and be like, this is the one thing I've missed through this whole COVID, is just being able to come to Jamie's and have a meal and enjoy ourselves and feel like it's the norm again. People have been very thankful that we've reopened, and they've been very supportive. I sometimes get emotional about it because people really care, and it means the world to me that they care that much about it.
We've been doing everything they told us. We have hand sanitizing, in our positions, pretty much when you walk in the bathrooms, at our counters. The tables are all spaced out. We have outdoor seating in the front, and then we have a little back patio that we were able to put up, which the tables, again, are 6 feet apart. And as you can tell, we wear masks and sanitize everything, clean our floors every day, so.
We've taken every measure that we've been told by North Andover Health Department, which are gloves, masks, hand sanitizer, and we are offering contactless free delivery for the customers. So if they want, they just put a little table at the front porch, and we'll just leave the food on their porch, and they give them a call or a text message and tell them that the food is on the porch. We wait on a car for them to get their food and then wave goodbye.
It's been tough telling people when they call and say, hey, party of 8, we're like, I'm sorry, we can only do 6, We'll do 2 tables of 4, but you can't intermingle and things like that. A lot of them think I'm making it up, but it is what it is. And just doing the right thing. Always, sanitizing hands, tables, chairs, all of the, like the salt and pepper shakers, the condiments. Just, we started real slow, because we wanted to make sure we did the right thing. And knock on wood, I think we're doing a pretty good job now.
We are allowed to have customers, but I am not ready to allow customers in. I offer pickup, but as you can see, we have a seat outside on a porch, so people are more than welcome to sit on that porch over there.
Well, we try to get everyone to call ahead, reservations or call ahead, just so that we don't have people waiting at the door. And we try to have a straight flow in, and then, especially if you're seating outside, procedurally wise, you can stay outside and walk around to get back out of the restaurant. You have to go back into the restaurant. We have another exit to get into the bathroom, so you don't have to go back into the restaurant. We have arrows on the floor, masks. We have sanitizer everywhere. We have stations, so when people have gotten up from their table, we will take all of the condiments, salt and pepper shakers and everything, and put it on the so-called dirty table. Then we sanitize it there and move it to where the clean stuff is. Our menus are QR scanners, and after it's been used, we throw the paper out, so we don't reuse that. Masks, we're always wearing masks, trying to do everything that we're supposed to do. I think restaurants all had a little easier because we've always had to sanitize tables and everything, so it's just 1 or 2 more steps that we would typically do.
Business is picking up big time from the beginning, from mid-March. It's almost at the levels where it was prior to pandemic. Not still there, but close to it.
A lot of them have been coming back. Some are still not used to, dining in, so they'll sit outside. Some will still be doing takeout because they're still not comfortable, which we understand. But they've been very helpful, helping us do takeout. And when we were offering, to sell wine and beer, they would order some wine and beer to go to help us out with the sales. Because in restaurant business, most of the sales is through the wine and the alcoholic beverages. So it helped us a lot when they would order a bottle of wine when they would do takeout food.
As frustrating as it may have been, I think Governor Baker has done a great job of reopening businesses and everything. My biggest fear now is that people are getting complacent and they're going to start doing gatherings of more than 50 or 25, and they're going to go to backyard parties and not wear masks, and the next thing you know, we have an uptick in it. I mean, as much as I hate this mask, I will wear it for as long as I have to, if that means that the number of deaths and the number of cases stay low and we're able to stay open.
I mean, I'm hoping it goes back to normal soon, so we can, again, hug and kiss all our customers that we like, and, be able to actually talk to them and not be, 6 feet apart while talking to them, and, But other than that, I'm hoping this nasty stuff goes away and we can kind of go back to normal.
The economy cannot stay shut down forever. With certain measurements in place, we got to open little by little. I am not for opening all at the same time, but still we got to take little baby steps to open up the economy so people can get back to their normal life, which this season will be strange, you know.
Thank you guys for all your help. Thank you for helping us stay open, and hope everybody stays safe, and hopefully we'll be back to normal soon.
During the COVID-19 shutdown, permission to remain open and continue operating was reserved for essential businesses, those none of us could live without. Now, no one needs to have their hair styled in order to survive, but remember that this pandemic has caused perhaps more mental strain than anything else. Think of all the social media posts you've seen trying to make light out of quarantine hair. For some, the reopening of salons was a chance to regain a positive self-image and a brighter attitude moving forward.
My name is Leah George. I am the owner of Salon Meta in North Andover, and we have been open for about 2.5 years now. So being a brand new business owner has been very fun. It's a whole new experience. I have experienced the gas explosion first, and now I'm experiencing the pandemic, but I have found strength within tragedies that have happened within the town. I've noticed the community really come together and be very supportive of my company, which was very heartwarming for me.
It was really tough being closed for a few weeks, not knowing when there was an end in sight, and being unsure of letting our clients know no answers to give them, and so that was really tough. And you know, we're used to being around people all the time, so not seeing anybody was pretty tough. The social aspect of it too.
We were shut down because we were not able to be within a 6 feet distance. The way that it was affected was more so of really the esthetician. My skincare facility, my skincare department was affected because it was more personal. There was no masks being there. My esthetician had to come in late because she was too close. People had to take their masks off. You know, there's other body services that she could have done, which was a little upsetting for me because I think that took her back a step. You know, people don't see that as an essential at the moment, whereas it's more of a luxury item for her.
For a little while, we weren't able to do facials, which we do normally, and waxing, any type of skincare services. So as long as the client is able to safely have their any waxing done or facials, then now we're able to do that. The challenge is, I think the most, is trying to fit as many people in as we normally would. So it's been tough. We've rearranged, some of us work alternating times and days so that we can work separately. We did set up some, if somebody wanted to pick up some products or anything, they could buy anything over the phone, and I would either deliver it or leave it in our mailbox.
We were shut down for almost 3 months, so we did curbside pickup for products. It is harder to get the products right now because all of our warehouses were in furlough. It caused us to have delays in shipments. I'm able to go to a store directly, but I'm not able to get everything in an order that is being shipped to the salon. So I tend to do over ordering, so I can get things from the warehouse and I can get things from the store and try to adjust by that.
We are calling to confirm everybody, and everybody gets pre-screened on the phone, and we ask them to come alone, so don't bring a friend, because we try to limit the amount of people that are in the salon at the time of their appointment. And they can prepay if they like. I've set up contactless payment, and they need to wear a mask and call when they get here, and we can let them know when our client that we've been working on has left so that they can come in. And then we take their temperature and we ask them to wash or sanitize their hands. And then they're taken to the station that's already been sanitized between the last client. We also wear our gloves, our masks, and then everything that they sit on or touch is sanitized immediately after, and all in between the clients. And then they can, while their color is sitting, they can either prepay and book their next appointment, so that way there's less time wasted so that we can sort of move smoothly between clients?
So we rotated our schedules just a little bit for the stylists. We ended up booking 3 at a time. Now, because we are well into phase 3, we are able to have 4 at a time because the amount of people that are allowed within a company is greater. I did start off my company with only 10 people in at a time, even though I could have up to 15 in phase 1. So I just kept it safer for the guests as they came in, and they felt more comfortable with less people. The stations are also spread out 6 feet apart. So in between that, from center of the chair to center of the chair, it's 6 feet between each guest. And then the sinks themselves are not spread out, but I have dividers so we can utilize each sink and still help the guest feel comfortable. As the customers come in, nothing has changed. We are greeting them with a smile, even though it's under our mask. You can see it in our eyes. And it's the same routine. You know, we have our consultations. They get to, the only thing that has changed is that we can't offer them a nice beverage. You know, they get the full-on service as always. And if anything, we've gotten more traffic into our company. Unfortunately, a few other salons have closed down, and we've been very lucky to have guests find us and come from referrals. So we've actually increased our business.
We've gotten a lot of praise, I guess, for being cautious, and everybody said that they felt pretty safe. And you know, we do definitely still have a few people that are still nervous, rightfully so. But I think that for the most part, they're just grateful to be able to get their hair done and feel somewhat normal, you know, and which is what everybody really wants, is just some normalcy. So it's been pretty good.
Though they may seem all about physicality on the outside, exercising activities can be just as much about maintaining mental health as they can be for maintaining a lean form. For some, doing yoga is essential for relaxing on a good day, and here we find ourselves amidst a nationwide pandemic. The chance to work out on a regular basis is a chance to stay strong throughout these challenging times, both physically and mentally.
Boy, it's been a big shift since COVID-19, and January and February are always our busiest months anyway. But we went from having 20 to 40 people per class to having to close the doors completely. So we went from being an in-person studio where we taught classes in the studio room to being completely online. So the first day we were actually closed was, it was March 15th. In the morning, we actually had our last morning classes here. So we had a class at 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., both of which we audio streamed online. And our 4 o'clock class was a Zoom class, which we completely had an online class. And we've been doing online classes every day since. So we've taught the same number of classes, just online instead of in the studio. One of the big changes has been being online meant we can outreach past this community. I have been mentoring yoga teachers around the world for the last 10 years. And so many of the teachers that I've mentored are working in studios in other parts of the world that also closed. So they let their students know that we were still doing online classes and that people could join us for home practice by just signing into our Zoom classes. And while we were shut down, we gave away all those classes for free. And so we've been teaching people in Australia, England, Italy, South America, all over the United States who've been joining us for online classes. Since we've reopened, we have continued to offer online classes, knowing that there's a real possibility that we may have to close again and reopen. This may be a process that takes a while, where we open and close again and again as we watch numbers rise and fall. So what we've created is not just an in-studio membership that allows for people to take classes online, but we have an online membership as well for people who are either not comfortable coming to the studio yet because of COVID-19, or they don't live here and they've been practicing with us and they want to continue doing that. So we've created an online-only membership. So you can just do our online classes, and we offer about 3 classes, 4 classes a day online. So all of our in-studio classes are audio streamed, and then we have other classes where the teacher is actually sitting in front of a computer and teaching a class. You worry about the safety of your staff and your members and yoga people that come, and our clientele runs in age from high school students all the way up to people in their 80s. So we really have a wide range of people that do class with us, and some of them are more vulnerable population. So how do we keep them safe? So we've socially distanced the students in the class. For all the breathing exercises, we have the students wearing their masks. So when students come in, They wash their hands right away, they keep their mask on, they go in the room for class with their mask on, and after the beginning breathing exercise, then they can take it off. The rest of the class, we breathe just through our nose, and our breathing is really calm and relaxed, so we're not spreading a lot of air around the room. At the end of the class, we do another breathing exercise, so we put the mask back on for that. You saw the machine that we bought that allows us to steam clean the entire space with steam that's heated to 310 degrees, which literally sanitizes everything. So everything is really clean all the time. We were already into being very clean studio. Hot and sweaty, you want to make sure everything's always clean. Now we've just upped the game. So we've changed some of our protocol. When you come to the studio, you leave your shoes out here, and we are constantly cleaning the high-touch surfaces so that nobody gets sick. As you come in, people wait here until the restroom is open, and then they go in and wash their hands. So we're very lucky to have a restroom right here. You can go in, wash your hands, and then proceed through to class. Students are required to register online, so it's all no touch, no sign in at the desk. They just give us a wave and we'll put you in the computer. And then people are leaving their items in the hallway. We have nice changing rooms, but right now they're closed. We have bathrooms that are available down the back, but just one person at a time, so we're keeping our social distance. And then here in the yoga room, we're not allowed to use the fans in the yoga room, but we do have a ventilation system that we have wide open all the time. So there's always fresh air coming in. And then you can see we've separated the people in the room by putting these dots on the floor. So we have a nice social distance, and once people are in the room, they stay put where they are. When class ends and everybody goes, we clean the room with this high-powered steam system. We refer to this as Rosie, and if you've ever seen the Jetsons and remember the maid, that's Rosie. Her face looks just like the maid on the Jetsons. So we use this to clean the floor. It is a high-power system. It heats the steam to 310 degrees, which allows us to fully sanitize the floor. It's a simple procedure of just running it like a vacuum cleaner and having the steam come out. So that's how we're cleaning. We're doing the hallways, the bathrooms, everything with this high-power steam to make sure all the bacteria, germs, anything is killed with this high power without adding chemicals to the floor or anything people are touching. The clients who are coming back in have responded really positively. Most of them talk about how clean it is and how safe they feel being here, that our protocol has really made them feel like they could safely come back to yoga. We have other students who are vulnerable population or care for vulnerable population, and they have not come back yet. So they're doing our online classes, which has been great. We also do regular community events on Zoom. So we're holding our community together, not just by doing yoga, but seeing each other for other events. We've had concerts and a birthday party, and we had an online scavenger hunt. We've done some other really fun activities so that our community can see each other and interact with each other without just doing yoga. For a lot of people, the struggle of being in quarantine or in lockdown is much more mental than physical. And so to be able to use your yoga practice to relieve stress. And this is part of the reason we made it free, because we knew there were going to be lots of people that, because they've lost their job, wouldn't be able to afford yoga. So we wanted to make sure the people who needed it for their mental health were able to access it as well. And we were really clear with videos and emails to our students. It's okay if you don't get online and do a whole class. Come in and just do a little breathing. Come in and say hello at the beginning or end of class. We always take time before and after the online classes to interact with each other so people didn't feel so isolated. We have lots of students that are older, and many of them live alone. So we felt it was really our responsibility to make sure this is usually their social place every day. We wanted to make sure that they still had a platform to go to see each other and have that stress relief of being with other people, but also to practice their breathing, practice stretching, know that they weren't alone, that we were all doing the yoga together. So by being together even online is helpful as well. Right now we're open, and if people want to try out the yoga, they can go on our website and check it out. But we also have those classes at home. So if you're interested in trying the practice without coming in the heat and humidity, here's the chance. So just visit our website and check it out, but also continue to support the local businesses and any way you can. So show up or just call up, buy a gift certificate, do something to help them out, and a little bit can go a long way.
The effects of COVID-19 had a significant impact on a number of businesses. However, one essential business decided not to let the situation impact them, but to have an impact on the situation. Being fairly new to the community, It took a very different approach to that of the big chains, and in doing so, demonstrated the true value of local businesses.
We didn't close out for COVID. We were considered an essential business. We're a relatively new business, so having COVID in the picture meant that a lot of the traffic that we'd expect to drive into the pharmacy, a lot of the new patients that we'd expect to service and help, we weren't really able to make the connection. What we try to do here is we try to make a connection with people while you come in and while you have coffee and while you're having a nice time, so that your pharmacy experience can be equally as nice. And when you don't have the traffic, plus a lot of doctors' offices were closed through April and May, so it made it a little difficult just to get people to give us a chance and come on board with us.
And plus, when everything started happening, it was enforced that you have gatherings of less than 10. So we did have to close our cafe, just because in the beginning we were having a lot of people gather around.
So we originally had gotten the cafe open towards the end of summer last year, but the pharmacy really got started towards, I think by the time we got all of our insurance contracts in, it was January. So we had a good 2 or 3 months to get everything going. And then, we dealt with COVID, I think mid-March. The traffic dropped off pretty significantly, but as unfortunate as it is, I'm happy because it meant that people were staying home and they were self-quarantining and they were trying to do the right thing for the community. And we tried to jump in as well and try to help out, and we were making free sanitizer bottles for people and just doing our part as well. So I'm happy to say, we were able to service the people who are in need for, anything that we provide.
Yeah, and I mean, the patients that we did have, we didn't lose any patients. And we just saw the decrease in gaining more patients from what we usually see by, people coming in, checking out the cafe. That's usually like the eye grabber that they come in to see that, and then they see, oh, it's also a pharmacy. We lost that aspect. So we still had a lot of movement. I think a lot of people are coming in. They were thankful that we're still open, thankful that we have hand sanitizer. We went ahead and ordered a lot of Tylenol, a lot of Advil, a lot of thermometers. We tried to basically provide for the community as much as we could. We also started doing curbside delivery, and also just anyone calling, we would make sure we take care of them.
The pharmacy we've made sure was continually open, so that never shut down. We're proud to say that we were able to service every single person we had before. We stepped up our cleaning procedures. We basically wipe everything down between each customer. We're more aware of anyone coming in and spending time here. So even though regulations have kind of loosened up, we try to make sure that we're not having crowds gather. We're trying to make sure that everything gets wiped down appropriately. We're I think, and we're lucky because to do that, you need every person in your team to believe in it and to really care about it. You can't have one person not feel that that's important. So I'm very thankful that everyone on our team feels that way, that we need to maintain that this place is spotless at all times.
We have tables set outside, so according to guidelines, it's okay to have seating outside, as many restaurants are doing in Massachusetts now. So we have that set up, but nobody's able to sit inside.
And we're doing that mostly just because besides being a food establishment, we're also a pharmacy. So we want to make sure that if there are elderly people who are coming in, if there are people who come in and have concerns about their well-being, I don't want anyone to feel like they can't be comfortable in here. So that was our main goal. Even though we're able to potentially have seating inside, I think we're going to be more conservative as far as how we roll that out.
We're not trying to encourage large gatherings, but we're still encouraging people if they want to come in and grab something and go, or if they want to call us and just let us know they need a certain medication or a certain over-the-counter drug, then we're there to help them.
We're fortunate to have been, open and maintained that we've been open throughout the pandemic, but I think it requires a little bit of caution, and it requires just a touch of caring and understanding that you have different people walking through the doors, and people who have different needs and different fears, different concerns, and we just have to make sure that we do our best to address, so that we're able to take care of the whole group of people when they come in. You know, I want to make sure that when someone comes in, they feel safe, that they feel comfortable, that, you know, that they recognize we're here for them, and that they recognize that, you know, if there's something that, you know, we can offer them, if there's something that they're having a hard time getting. One of the things I'm proud to say that we do is, you know, if there's things that people have a hard time getting, like I know that at the beginning, while thermometers were practically non-existent everywhere you go, or hand sanitizer was non-existent, Tylenol, that kind of stuff. I remember reading about it being off the shelves everywhere. I made sure that we had it. So as much as possible, I made sure we had it. So we, you know, we're looking at a little bit of a different world, but you know, I think as long as we all come together, try to do the right thing, care for each other, do the right thing for the community, then I think we're in good shape.
It's important to remember that although businesses are reopening and everything feels more normal, we are still very much in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. It's up to everyone to do their part. Wash and sanitize your hands constantly. Don't touch your face. Socially distance when possible, and always wear a mask when entering buildings. Some of the business owners you've seen in this program chose to take their masks off for the purposes of recording. But all camera crew maintained proper face coverage and distance, and everyone wore their masks when the cameras were turned off. The virus is still here, and the risk is still very real. Our businesses in North Andover are committed to creating a safe environment for the community, but it is up to everyone to make sure that it stays that way. You've been watching Back to Business on North Andover Cam. I'm John Hayes. Thank you for watching.